Hey guys, what's going on? Adam from Exotics, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, please do me that massive favour I always ask. Please smash that subscribe button, leave a comment, drop a like, ting that notification bell so you don't get to miss a future upload. In today's video guys, as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, I am joined by none other than the legend himself, Mr. Brian Kusko, or Kusko, whoever you want to pronounce it. I say Kusko. I'm not sure what he says. But anyway, Brian was kind enough to send me some footage answering a few questions. As you guys know, I'm going to be going around the world, hopefully, asking some awesome breeders and reptile keepers around the globe what the reptile community means to them, who inspired them to get into the hobby, what they think are the good points, what they think are the bad points. Now Brian has kindly agreed to join me on the channel and I'm very, very thankful for this, buddy. You are an inspiration to sort of the YouTube reptile community. You know, I've always said that you're probably the best editor in the reptile hobby, you know, full stop. Your videos are absolutely amazing. My kind of guy, is a family man. You know, he loves his music, he loves his animals. You know, he has such a strong passion for this community, and it's sort of really overwhelming sometimes. Really true inspiration. So guys, I put some questions to Brian for him to answer. So we're going to take a look at that clip now and see what he has to say. But again, thank you very much, Brian, for being on the channel. I really, really do appreciate the time it took to sit down away from your busy schedule and actually do this for me. So I really do appreciate it, guys. And guys, I will put Brian's details down below in the description box to his YouTube and to his Instagram. So make sure, if you're already not following him, to go over to his page and check it out. Show him some love. Tell him I sent you. And I'm going to stop rambling on again. I'll quite do that. I do that quite a lot. I like a ramble. But kick back, relax, guys, and enjoy this footage from Mr. Brian Kusko.
Hey Adam, thank you for having us on, man. TA Exotics. Guys, like, comment, subscribe down below, you know the drill. So Adam asked me to come on here and he provided me with a few questions to answer. This is my little girl, Leia Moon. She's got one of our little Enchi Lesser Poshet Sunset Ball Python holdbacks from last season. I've got my buddy Sunset here, who is an Eastern Indigo snake with the red phase. And the first question you had for me, Adam, was who inspired me to get into the hobby? Now, if we're going back to the beginning, I was born in Hayward, California. It's in the Bay Area. And we lived next door to a guy in an apartment complex whose name was Snake. And he was like a biker type of guy. And when I was 4 years old, one of his snakes got loose. And we didn't know it was his at the time, but it was crawling through our backyard. And my dad helped me identify it as a California king snake. And we found out that it was indeed Snake's snake. Oh, is it falling down, T? Here, let me help you out. Put your hands underneath. Okay. There you go. Ah, there you go. Nice. Yeah. So Snake, when we went into his room, his living room, to give him his snake back, his room looked like this. It's okay. Don't worry. You got it. We'll get you another snake in a second, okay? Okay. So Snake's living room looked much like this room does here. So that's my earliest influence. Now, if you're talking about the YouTube side of the hobby, I was gone for a long time in Hawaii for about a decade, swimming with sea turtles and not having any snakes or keeping any animals. And when I came back from that, I found the YouTube side of the hobby, and a lot of the first channels I watched were Snake Bites, Brian Barczyk, the Nerd channel, Mike Wilbanks had a channel, Brian Gundy, one of my huge influences, actually the guy that convinced me I should start a YouTube channel in the first place. Dave Kaufman's Reptile Adventures, as it's called now, was Herpers TV that I found those videos. Those are some of the very first videos I watched lots and lots of. There were lots of other channels on there, but those were the ones that I definitely focused on watching a lot of. So between Snake and all those other YouTube channels, when I came back, those are the two big responsible parties for getting me started. She trying to bite? Yeah? Yeah? You got her though? Yeah. So Leia's got our baby blood python holdback that was produced by our big girl Sangria here, who is also a blood python, of course, being the mom. And so your next question for me was, why would I recommend a newbie to get into the hobby? And well, hanging out with these animals is one of the most rewarding things. They're not like dogs and cats. It takes a lot more effort to kind of get to know them on a more personal basis. And when you do, I find that, well, at least for me personally, when I'm holding an animal like this, it kind of sets me in a little place of peace. It's kind of where I come is down into my snake room, and whatever's going on in my life, if I'm just start hanging out with the animal and pay attention to how that animal is, I always find that it just kind of sets me at ease and almost like a Zen-like experience. So there's that side of it. If somebody's looking to get into the hobby side of the breeding hobby, then that is something that can really help teach you patience, and and you have to learn a lot and pay attention to close small details. Again, it's something kind of like music. You can never learn it all. She licked you? Good, as long as she doesn't bite you. Patience though I think is the number one virtue or value that you can learn from the breeding side of the hobby, and not even just the breeding side, but even just the keeping side takes patience as well. So to learn an animal and watch it grow, because a lot of these animals live for a very, very long time. I mean, most of these pythons that we've been holding can live for 20 plus years, no problem. And so it's not something you just get into and get out of real quick. Well, I mean, not that people don't, but if you're in it for the long haul.
Big one.
And again, it's just one of the most rewarding things you can get into. So that's why I would recommend it to new keepers, anybody looking to get in the hobby that's a newbie. Those are some things you can expect. And then plus the community of people that's out here that keeps reptiles is one of the best communities I've ever come across in my life. The amount of support that people offer each other here. Now that maybe leads into the next question, which are what are some of the positive and negative sides of the hobby? And I'd say that for me, the bulk of those boil down to people. Whoa, she just pooped on you? No, okay. There's a very negative side of people going out and attacking each other on the smallest of things. I find this sometimes extreme tribalism, which definitely exists outside of the hobby as well, but it exists within the hobby. You know, whether or not you keep your snakes in terrariums versus tubs for breeding, and just it seems like every little thing that you could work apart as a difference, there's people on either end of it that are willing to go at all ends to attack each other on it. But if you can get past that, the rest of it is amazing. You're doing a good job. You need a different snaky?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting a little wild. I don't want you to get bit. You did a good job. How many 2-year-olds you know that handle juvenile blood pythons? Oh, wrangling the big girl. This is Halo, our lavender albino motley tiger citron retic, and trying to wrangle her and let her wrangle at the same time. It's fun. You gonna use your hands, T? You gotta use your hands, Leia Moon. There you go. And Leia's got a purple golden child sitting there that actually has no eyes, that we use for educational programs to teach about heat pits. So the positive side of the hobby is also people, as I mentioned, and it's such a supportive community. The majority of people out here are extremely supportive of each other. I remember I had my camera gear stolen out of my vehicle in a parking lot, and when that happened, so many people stepped up and actually raised funds to help me replace half of the gear, it was about $15,000 in gear. So and people just stepped up like it's no question. And anytime somebody's in real need in the hobby, everybody seems to just step up and really come forward and help out in whatever way they can. I see that happen time and time again, and that's a huge positive side of this hobby. Aside from all the learning you get to do and the time you get to spend with the animals, but what makes a hobby is a group of people into doing the same thing. So I always say that there'll be plenty of animals without the hobby, but without people and animals together, there's no hobby. So that's kind of how I feel about it. And for the final question, Adam, how do I see my collection growing in the next 5 years? Well, it'll be slowly, definitely slowly. We've been doing slow growth here. Well, we got a lot of snakes at one time at one point, but still always as babies and growing them up. And eventually I would love to have some kind of place where people can come, where the public can come and check out the animals, and kind of like a reptarium type of thing like Brian has going on over there in Michigan. That would be kind of a dream goal. I don't know if that's going to be in 5 years, but I did always say that I'd have a kind of a max goal of producing about 30 clutches. You got it. Good job, T. I had always said I'd have I'd like to produce about 30 clutches and kind of be a max at that. So this year I think we're having 4 at the most clutches this year. So in 5 years, be closer to that goal of 30 clutches a year, which I could definitely hit sooner if I wanted to and really go all out. But it's always been about slow growth over here. So in due time, but Adam, thanks again for inviting me to come on your channel, man. And if you guys want to check out what we got going over here, I got Triple B TV where I interview different folks in the hobby, or we got the vlog channel where it's more stuff just kind of like this, hanging out with animals or just doing whatever, really. It's like a public diary. So I invite you guys over there. Adam, thank you again. You guys subscribe to TA Exotics, and thank you for your time, man. Appreciate you.
Well, there we go, guys. That was Brian Kusko giving us his take on the reptile community and the hobby as a whole. His daughter's a little cutie pie, isn't she, holding that snake? And I can relate to that because all my kids hold all my animals over here. And I think it's such a vitally important thing to get the young generation into the hobby that we love. You know, to educate, to show them what makes us happy and what makes us passionate, to try and give a little bit of passion to them. You know, if they can grow up and enjoy these animals just half as much as we do as keepers and breeders, then we're doing something right. So again, Brian, thank you so much for doing this video for me. It's really appreciated like you wouldn't believe. Massive fan of yours, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers are fans of yours already. But like I said, if you're not, guys, smash that subscribe button, go and see Brian's channel, show him some love, tell him I sent you once again. But guys, that's going to be it for today's video. You know, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch it. Please stay safe. Keep to your government guidelines on social distancing. I'm sure we'll get through this very soon. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.